Hello, welcome back to another episode of Dear Source, your Ascendancy Hotline, where you get your daily dose of spiritual guidance, where we dive deep into real life questions and struggles, use ancient wisdom, universal principles to find clarity, peace, and alignment. Whether you're navigating relationships, inner conflict, or seeking purpose, this is a space where we honor our journey with love and compassion, non-judgment, and insight. Drawing from universal laws, A Course in Miracles, The Law of One, and Hermetic principles, we are here to find answers, connect to your truth, and elevate your path to healing and growth. Now let's explore today's letter and connect with wisdom, the wisdom of Source. And today's letter comes from Blocked and Burnt Out. So this reads, Dear Source, I've been in a leadership role for several years, but lately I feel like I've hit a wall. No matter how hard I've tried, I can't seem to move forward or inspire my team like I used to. I feel overwhelmed with stress, decision fatigue, and a sense of stagnation that's weighing me down. It's like an invisible barrier preventing me from reaching the next level of leadership, and I'm not sure what to do. I've tried various professional development courses and coaching programs, but none of them seem to address the root of the problem. I'm starting to wonder if the issue goes deeper, beyond the physical or mental aspects of leadership. A friend recently mentioned energy healing, suggesting it could help clear any blocks that might be affecting my ability to lead effectively. I'm curious, but also skeptical. How does energy healing help me overcome these leadership blocks? Is it possible that something in the energy or aura is holding me back from stepping into my full potential as a leader? And if so, how can I start using energy healing practices to break through these barriers and realign with my purpose? So thank you, Blocked and Burnt Out, for such a beautiful letter. And I would start with offering that absolutely, I agree that there is a lot more going on here than just, I think, the traditional methods and tactics that we have always used in corporate leadership in corporate America to help you step into the highest and greatest version of yourself. So the first thing that I would really offer is we are all energy. First and foremost, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and we're here to remember who we are. We are here to remember the essence of our soul and express that into the world. And when we do the work that you described before on more so the ego and personality level of self, there is underlying things going on that, if not addressed, really are at play and holding you back from stepping into the highest version of yourself. So this could be a really long episode, and I actually might break it up into two parts. We'll see what Source brings through here. But first and foremost, what I would share is I think there's absolutely a recognition, and I think there's something else beyond what you are sensing or doing that really is meant to help you step into that next level. Because if you think about the essence of our soul is energy. It is here to be. It is here to be in a state of alignment. And it is here to then, based on that alignment, then follow intuitive action that it's called to do. And where we have really been conditioned in the human experience is our ego sees itself as the doer. Like, I'm the one responsible for all the actions in my life. And if I do these actions, I get these results. And we've created that. I mean, I have sat through that in my 20 plus years in corporate America. So I can certainly relate to what you're describing of, if I do these things, or this is a way a leader's supposed to be, and if I go put into action X, Y, and Z, I'll get X, Y, and Z results. Or, there's a magnitude of things there, but we have been programmed and conditioned to think that we are the individual doer. And the fact is like that, as I've gone on my spiritual journey post 20 plus years in corporate America, and really see is the shift is like, we have to align and do soul level work, because that's the essence of our being. And that's the shift that we're going through. We're going through this humanitarian shift to go from doers and being in the ego and really caught in this construct of, if I do this, then I get this, which again, right there is all ego. That's attachment to outcomes. That is, what does that produce when we don't get the outcome that we want? Anger, typically. If we also think about, here's the set of actions I need to go do, I'm in control of the situation. So what am I going to get out of that? I'm going to get like fear. I'm in a fear, whether it's my job, I'm in fear of my next promotion, whatever the case might be. If we're driven our actions based on trying to control something, the heart of what is at the heart of that is, I am fearful that I can't surrender and trust the universe to do its job or do what it's here to do, which in essence is here to flow through us and out of us as the highest expression that we are here to be. So when we're in fear and control, we're also not allowing for the highest expression of ourself to come through. So if you think about like being very controlled, like, how is your authentic vibrational expression being put out into the world? And that vibrational, authentic expression of yourself isn't the way that we have, I think, would describe it here. On a spiritual level, it's attuning to that vibrational frequency and allowing source to flow through you in a state of unconditional love, in a state of oneness, in a state of honoring the one universal law we're here to honor, is to love our neighbor as ourselves. So, are you acting from that space? So that's another thing that is going on. So there's so much at play, because I think we're starting to sense that there's a vibrational shift occurring in the planet. And we're caught in all these old societal constructs about the way that it's always been done. And really transcending from, how do we move out of our ego into a heart-centered consciousness, which is essentially, if we think about our heart-centered consciousness, it's the conduit from which we bring in our human experience, our experience from the lower 3 chakras of our being, our root, our sacral, and our solar plexus, and we qualify it with our higher dimension of self, because we are an emanation of source. We are divine beings here to express ourselves into the world. And so we're rising as a planet into this heart-centered consciousness. We are being called into, how do we use our heart to neutralize and qualify our human experience and bring in the divine and mix that into then action into the world. And that's what's really occurring on the planet right now. And that's like many, many, many discussions. But it's like, why does this stuff start to feel like, why do you feel blocked and burnt out? Like, why are you feeling the way that you're feeling, because as the vibration on the planet rises, it's calling us into a higher vibrational state of being. And we are being pointed back to the essence of who we truly are. When we came in here to be the highest expression of ourselves. What we've been conditioned into believing is that we're here to have certain job titles, have a house, have money in the bank accounts, do this, do that. Like, we deem that as like, that's what I came here to do. And the reality is like, we're here to break out way beyond that. Think about how limiting all those things sound. We're an infinite being at working on finite things. So when you even look at the work that you're called in to do and the leadership roles you're called into those roles for the growth of your soul, for the service of humanity. And so are you achieving that level of expression from yourself in order to offer that into the world? And so I would absolutely agree with your friend that gave you some advice in that letter. Is there the work that we're designed to do now is to do the root cause work, like what's underlying, what are our subconscious beliefs that have been driving the bus, driving the self of who we are, and figuring out what are those programs that are running, because we're here to overcome and requalify those with thoughts of abundance, of love, of peace, of prosperity, of clarity. So when you think about like the work that people need to start doing is not self-help, because again, that's the ego. That's the illusion of the separate self. Even believing that you are somehow in the wrong place, doing the wrong thing, that's your ego. Like, that is the illusion of the separate self. That's you separated from source itself, thinking, I know better. I'm here to do this. And we're here trying to wrestle and requalify that into one, back together. And so when we think of source and knowing, we're here to remember that we're an emanation of God himself to be expressed into the world. So when we remember that, then we have aligned action of then what am I supposed to go do in order to be the energy that I was placed here to be for the growth of the whole of humanity. That's all. The only reason why we all came in here was to up-level ourselves, to remember ourselves, to grow ourselves, and really to transcend the ego at some point. That might take us many, many more lifetimes and many more thousands of years, I don't know, of spiritual work. But the reality is like we are here to step into our essence of being and to express that into the world and to usher in a new era onto this earth. And so the role that you have is, how do you vibrationally attune to what you're supposed to be doing here and transcend all these self-help? Like, self-help is just another way to go. You're broken, you're not whole, and if you do these things, this is going to fix it. If you think of the whole premonition of any self-help, if you see most of the coaching out there, no one is looking you in the face going, you are whole and complete. You are an emanation of God himself. You hold all the answers within you, and we're here to unlock those and for you to step into your divinity. And there's nothing lacking. There's nothing wrong with you. You are divine and fiercely and perfectly made. Like, that's the kind of coaching you should be seeking out, that then is helping you remove the energy blocks, the subconscious beliefs, anything that's standing in your way from remembering that. So that's the work that you're really called here to do. But if you think of most self-helps, books, most coaching programs, they're based in lack. And truly, if you want to transcend, you have to find the people, the programs, the things that you need that are what you want to become, not you're already lacking and I'm going to solve this. And really, in our day and age, I think there was a lot of, coaches that came out just thinking this was an easy way to get rich quick. And most people that go through most of those coaching programs leave feeling gypped and like they're a fraud. They don't get the results that they say. And it's because they're not speaking to your higher self. There's no sustainability in focusing in what you're not good at, because at the end of the day, you're going to have more and more and more lack. Because if you start from the place of lack, you're going to come back to the place of lack. So everything is energy. So if I start from a state of abundance and I'm abundant, what am I going to receive back from the universe? Abundance. And you've got to remove, again, the individual ego and doership of you're not in control of the results. You're here to align yourself with source and your highest self, and be that expression into the world, and trust that as you cast that out into the world, that the universe is going to deliver that back to you. But you've got to be so nuanced and well understood of what's the place that you're starting from. So if you're starting from a state of high density being of I am just love and I want to put this out there and I'm not attached to the outcome, what do you think is going to boomerang right back to you? Nothing but abundance. But if you're okay, if I do this and I get this, I'm going to get this back. That's already calculated. That's already controlled. That's already out of alignment with the universal truths of how we're supposed to be operating. So you've got to really hone in on the energy and the essence of where you're starting from, because that starting point is ultimately what's delivering you your results. So I would love to book a session with you, blocked and burnt out, just to get on a call, hear where you're at, and see who I can point you in the right direction to as far as where, I know many great coaches and spiritual practitioners that would help take you to that next level. And so I am here to be in service and to help people actualize to their highest degree of being. So if I didn't answer all your questions or you have more questions, please write back, because I would love to ensure that you got everything out of this that you needed. So thank you for joining us on today's episode of Dear Source, where we align spiritual principles with real-world experiences. Remember, no matter the challenges you face, peace, clarity, and wisdom are always available when you connect with your higher self. If today's discussion resonated with you and you're seeking deeper personalized guidance, I invite you to book a private session with me. The link is always included in the description below. Together, we can explore your spiritual path and unlock the answers you've been searching for. And if you're ready to connect with a like-minded spiritual community, coming soon, the Ascendancy Collective, where we support each other in growth, healing, and ascension. You do not have to walk this path alone. Join us and let's rise together. Until next time, trust the process, honor your truth, and stay connected to Source.